We are gonna do it. I'm going to be cutting off this Fashion Corner doll's hair. If I can get it to focus in on her. It doesn't want to. But yeah. Anyhow, I'm going to be cutting off her hair. One of my Fashion Corner dolls. And this phone has no idea what focus even means. There we go. So yeah, for those of you who don't know, this was actually a Fashion Corner. This wasn't one of the ones that was sent to me. This was one that I found at a dollar, not a dollar, I almost said Dollar Tree. This was a Fashion Corner I found at a thrift store back in 2015. She has different arms because I had to replace them. Had to replace her arms because her fingers fell off. Like her arms became really brittle and her fingers just fell off, so now she has these like rubbery arms. So yeah. And I flat ironed her hair to see how it would go. And it turned out nice and all, but her hair is very thin. So. And she is missing some plugs. So let me see if I can twist this. So that right there is how thick her hair is. Or should I say, how thin. So yeah. Hey, Amber Thomas. Nice to have you. Yeah, so you can see that is how thin her hair is. So, I mean, she looks fine and all, but I just want her hair to be thicker. And I want it to be nicer quality. So, if those of you don't know, like dollar store dolls and stuff like that come with like polypropylene hair. It's a really cheap type of hair. So, and that's what these Fashion Corner dolls have. It's like a really super cheap nylon hair, like the lowest quality nylon. Although these ones are weird, their hair feels like acetate hair, kind of. Like when you take the hair and you do this with it, it kind of feels like acetate. It's like in between acetate and polypropylene. It's very odd, and all the Fashion Corner dolls that I have are like that. So, it doesn't like to focus on her face. Then again, this is an old phone. So, but yeah. I'm trying to get it to. Okay, there we go. Much better. But I love their sweet faces. Like, I love the face mold and the face paint. Just, she needs better hair. As for her hair, it is very. Yeah, she's got a huge gap right there. The scalp is painted though, so that's good, but it's just gappy, and she did lose some hair plugs over here. I'm not sure if you can see in there, but there are some plugs missing. So yeah, some of her hair plugs popped out of her scalp, so. And I want her to have thicker hair. I'm going to give her a two-toned hair. So I actually have the hair. So for those of you who don't know, this is Kanekalon braiding hair from the brand Expression, and I'm going to be boil washing it in a separate video tutorial. So you'll get to see how I get all these little teeny tiny crimpies out. And if y'all are going to use the braiding hair, you have to make sure that you get the kind with the teensy weensy, super tiny little crimpies in it, because this is the better quality stuff. The cheaper kind that has the really big, it almost looks wiry a little bit, but they're much bigger crimps. That hair isn't as, it's not as good of quality as this. It's not as shiny, and this will just turn out a lot better when you boil wash it and stuff, and it will go pin straight. So this is what I'm going to use. This hair color is called 613. You can find it online, stuff like that. And the other color I'm going to be using, I haven't gotten it prepped yet, but it's a lot lighter than this. It's almost a whitish color. It's a lot like it's a lot like this. So this is a bubbling mermaid Barbie from 1996. And so the other color I'm going to be mixing in is a lot like this, almost white. So she's going to have two-toned hair. So, and yeah, this is the pre-stretched kind. So I had to cut it because it's a lot easier to root hair into your doll's head when it's all one length. And basically what pre-stretched is it's more natural, like the way hair grows. Each hair is like a different length and it thins out as it goes to the bottom. So what I did was I found where where it stopped thinning out, and I just cut it so that the hair was even. So I will be doing a separate video tutorial on how to boil wash this and to get it all sleek and prepped for rerooting. So yeah. But for now, we're going to cut her hair off. I will be saving her hair too because I have, with some of the Fashion Corner dolls that I got, there was some of these. So there's one of them. Some of them were called I Dream of Being a Doctor, and maybe another one was a nurse or something. But yeah, I have a girl one. They're all girls to me because I wanted them all to be girls. Yeah, she's right there. Let me see. Yeah, you can see right there, you can see her little hair bow. I'll just go ahead and get her out. I'll set this up here. But yeah, some of them came with little BBs. But yeah, she has the same hair color as the one I'm about to take her hair out of. But the only difference is she is bald in the middle. So I'm going to harvest the hair from this one that I want to reroot, and I'm going to put it into her head and fill her head with hair so that she has more hair that matches her original hair colors. But yeah, it's kind of like a mom and daughter sort of situation. I kind of like that. There we go. These are a lot like the ones Mattel came out with, so even down to the face mold, it's very similar, but I think these are smaller than the little toddler ones that Mattel did. But yeah, she has the same hair color that I'm going to give to that girl. The rest of her hair, because I'm sure she's not going to use up all of this doll's hair, but what I'm going to do with the rest of this, I don't know yet. Oh yeah, and she's still like losing strands of hair as I'm speaking, so like she's still got like strands falling out. Her hair hasn't dry rotted or anything, it's just her hair plugs are loose and they're popping out. Not only that, she isn't really rooted the best. Like, if you look back here, that is not good rooting at all, but they fortunately did paint the scalp. But those hair plugs are spaced pretty far apart. Unlike the ones in the front, I'm glad they made the ones in the front a little bit better. But you can see that on this side, her hair is kind of rooted into her ear. Like, it's rooted directly into her ear. I've even gotten Barbies like that, like Mattel Barbies, where they had the hair rooted into the ear and stuff. And then you'll find some that have just one hair plug rooted into the forehead, and it's just randomly there, and it looks really weird. So, but yeah, without further ado, I guess I should have turned my flash on for this because you're not really going to be able to see all that well. But oh well. Should be enough lighting. Let me see. Turn up my brightness a little bit. Okay, so yeah, if the brightness is turned up on my phone, then it should. I'm trying to get it to focus here and it doesn't want to. I'm not sure if that's a problem with older phones, but saw some comments. Hi, BB dolls. Riley Power, that's a sweet comment. The hair just gets a little bit longer when you boil wash it because it's crimped, but the crimps straighten out, so it gets a little bit longer as the crimpies straighten out. So I'm sure it'll gain a little bit more length on it. But without further ado, what I'm gonna do is I am going to be spraying her hair down just to keep everything tidy. I probably should have gotten my brush. Go get that. Because if I want to save her hair, then I gotta keep everything nice and tidy. So. But yeah, like I said, I did flat iron her hair and stuff because it was really frizzy and I had to trim it a little bit. And it looks nice and all. It's just not as thick and long as I want it to be. And I've seen some of these dolls come with really super long hair, so I kind of want one, and that's what I love about rerooting is I can make my own with really super long hair. So yeah. So I got my spray bottle and I'm gonna spray her hair. Just saturate everything. This is the spray bottle that I use for rerooting because I like to keep the hair saturated. I like to keep the hair saturated when I'm rerooting because having the hair wet definitely makes it easier to thread through the needle and all of that. Okay, so I'm just gonna brush it. Basically just want it completely like I ran it under the faucet. It'd probably be best if I went and ran it under the faucet, but I'm not gonna do that now. And I'm basically going to try to cut as close to her scalp. So I do have some scissors here. These are actually scissors that came with my 2002 Cut and Style Barbie. And no, I did not cut her hair. Now I did do some hair cutting because I took one of the extensions, the Connect-A-Lawn extension that she came with. I rooted it into her head to thicken her hair up. Because the hair gimmick does not work on those dolls. Basically on the Cut and Style 2002 doll, you're supposed to, they have a hole in their head up here and then you tie their hair back like their regular hair. And they have a huge compartment in the back where you put the hair piece in. And so you like pull that piece out. They're like a grow hair doll. So you tie their hair back and you pull the grow hair out, out her grow hair hole. And then you cut pieces of her hair. And it just doesn't work at all. When I was a kid and I saw the commercial, I thought they were tugging on all the hair to make it grow. But then I got one of those dolls secondhand way later on in the future. And then when I discovered the hole in the head, I realized how the dolls were supposed to work and I was kind of let down. So, but the Cut and Style 2002 dolls are really pretty though. And they come with a boatload of accessories, so I don't really care about the gimmick not working. Okay, here we go. We gonna cut her. First goes the bangs. I literally haven't cut the hair off of one of these in quite the while. So, no more bangs. So now I'm going to take her hair into sections. I do have a hair elastic right here. This clear hair elastic for tying up the remnants of her hair. Because since I'm going to be saving it for those little dolls. But it's just one of those hair elastics that comes from doll packaging and stuff. I always save those. Because unlike the ones that you can buy at the store, like those ones disintegrate really fast, like the ones that you can actually buy, but the ones that come in doll packaging last a lot longer. So yeah. Yeah, she had it feels weird. Like this type of hair feels like a mix of that cheap acetate type of hair that Mattel is using on their dolls now and polypropylene. It feels like it's really weird. Like it feels kind of rough, like acetate hair, but it also feels very plasticky, like polypropylene hair. So, but I'm gonna assume that it's just the polypropylene. But since I have flat ironed it, I will save it for that little doll. And she doesn't have a whole lot of hair to cut off. I'll basically just do the part line in one go. So I can literally take my nail and separate out a section. And that's basically going to destroy all the thatching, but it doesn't matter because her hair is getting cut off. So, and some of these fashion corner dolls are weird, like they have a really flat head in the back. I think I only have 2 that are like that. This hair is very, like, the hair strands individually are very thick, so they're kind of hard to cut through. So I'm going to put that hair to the side. Oh yeah, and literally there's not even that much left. The majority of the hair thickness came from her part line. And that's it. The rest of the hair is uber duper thin. And yes, I will be going in and adding more plugs, like more holes. So more plug holes will need to be added. Come on, camera focus. There we go. So yeah, you can see how far apart those are spaced. I will be going in and maybe I'll add 2 more in there, 1 more there, and then I'll fill in this gap here and fill in that gap there. So on and so forth, you get the gist. So I'll take a little bit smaller sections. It is kind of tedious. Usually I'm used to just grabbing onto all the hair and just cutting it off in one go, but because I'm saving this, it's going to be a little bit more tricky. And this doll, like the fashion corner dolls, have like a unique... I used to hate this hair color. Some of them have like a pinkish hue to their hair. Some of them have a normal blonde hue. Some of their hairs look white. And I'm just talking about like the blonde ones. I'm guessing the company didn't know how to make blonde hair. So a lot of times it would turn out almost rose gold, or like this one has like a silver hair. So I didn't like the silver hair at first, but I do now. Years ago, I cut the hair off of one of these, and I was talking about how I didn't like her grayish hair. But I think it kind of makes her look snow-kissed, I guess. We're getting there. to each little section. But yeah, the first one I did, I just cut all her hair off, and I think I threw it away. That was back in 2015, shortly after I had found this one. So I cut that one's hair off, and then she stayed bald. I cringe when I watch that video, like I watched it back recently. And then I literally cut all her hair off, and I put all the hair plugs inside, like, I got my tweezers, and I scraped the inside, I scraped the hair plugs to the inside of the head, and then I just left her like that, and she stayed like that for like 3 years. So, yeah. Never again, though. It took me like 3 years to get the motivation to reroot that all. And also, I didn't have the best hair back then. I didn't know about Kanekalon braiding hair back then. So I was literally using those like headbands from the Dollar Tree. They had like hair attached to them, and I would use those for rerooting and stuff. And that hair is like super stiff and not very good quality, so. But I think these dolls are worth rerooting just because I love the face mold. They have very sweet faces. They're very happy looking. And I just feel like with this sort of knockoff superstar type of face mold, she deserves a huge head of hair, because that was what the Fashion Corner dolls were known for. They had huge hair, and then the Barbies from this era, they had the really big hair, so really big, thick hair. And I feel like she deserves all that hair, and she deserves to have really long, luxurious hair. So she deserves better quality hair than what she had. So, okay. Yeah, some of the hair fell on the floor, but I'll gather that up later. Oh. Now just swish it off onto the table, and I'll sweep it off later and throw it away. So now, I'm gonna get my flathead screwdriver, and we are going to scrape. Oh yeah, look at that. So you can see now how poorly rooted she was. Oh, come on, focus. There we go. But yeah, there's a huge gap, so 2 more rows of plugs could fit in there. There's literally a space right here where there's no plugs. Like, you can see where the rooting pattern goes. But I guess the machine malfunctioned right here and just skipped that little space. And then there's a huge space there. Another row of plugs could go in there. A few more plugs could go in there. And like in between these ones, I could put like 1 plug, 1 extra one in between those, so. She will be getting a lot of new plug holes made. Oh, wow. She's got some really big holes in her head. But the way you fix that is you can pop her head in some boiling water, and all these holes should shrink up, so. And yeah, I'm definitely going to skip doing that where it rooted directly into her ear. Oh yeah. So you can see like that portion of her ear they rooted the hair into. So when I shrink the holes up, I'm gonna leave that part out. I'll probably go in here and add some little plugs to connect the line. But yeah, I will be skipping those like 2 right there or whatever, because I don't want her having hair rooted into her ear. But then again, these dolls were made so quickly, like I'm pretty sure Like a lot of clone dolls, they're made super fast, like a super fast pace, because they make so many of them. They're so mass produced. So literally someone probably had the doll head on the rooting, like they had the rooting machine and they just spun it around and then spun it around really, really, really fast, did all that, and then they did the part line and they threw the head to the side. That's basically what they do in the factories when they root the hair in. They will go zzz, fill all that in, separate out the middle, do the part lines, and then they throw it to the side and they get the next doll head and they do that one. There will be like a pile of rooted doll heads over on the side. So yeah, they're just cranking them out like that. So yeah, it's not always when they're cranking them out that fast. The rooting isn't always going to be perfect. So yeah, but since I'm rerooting her, she's going to be getting her hair rerooted by hand. I will actually be able to select where I want the plugs to go and how many there are and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I love these dolls' faces, like the head mold. I'm just head over heels for this head mold. I wish they were still producing dolls because, well, I mean, they had a long run. Fashion Corner dolls lasted from like the 80s. I think they started making them in 87 and then they lasted to like the early to mid 2000s. So, but the later ones they changed the head mold on and they got rid of this head mold. The last time they used this head mold, I think, was like in 2002 or 2003. So, yeah. And then they switched it to some other head mold, which wasn't as cute and sweet looking as this one. So, yeah. And she didn't have like the dimples. That's one thing about Fashion Corner dolls, is they do have the dolly dimples. That's kind of like what I like to refer to them as dolly dimples. Which, if you don't know, that's actually a name to a Chuck E. Cheese character. But because she's a doll and she has dimples, so I like to refer to them as dolly dimples. So now we're gonna get the tweezers and pull all the hair out. Yes, I'm not leaving the hair inside her head for 3 years. Oh yeah. And you just pull all the hair out. Do I have any cheetah girls? I used to have one, but I didn't like her face mold. Like, her face was very round and stuff like that. And it looked weird compared to her body. In fact, I think a lot of the Cheetah Girls dolls had super round looking faces. Or not the faces, but the heads. The heads were round looking, and I didn't really like it. So I got rid of that doll. I don't even know which one it was. But she was like a singing one, and she sung like Girl Power or something. That's all I remembered. Actually, what I did with that doll is I popped her head off. And I can't remember what happened to her head, but I stuck a mycene doll on her body. And then I think I donated that doll, which I feel bad for getting rid of the mycene doll because she was a Madison doll and she had like blue eyeshadow or something, or blue eyes and purpley lips, and I feel really bad for getting rid of her. But like, that was way back in the day when I wasn't collecting as wide of a variety of dolls that I collect now. Originally, I just liked my main focus was like Barbie type dolls like this that looked like Barbies. So So yeah. But that Cheetah Girls doll was in a lot on eBay, and I bought the lot for a swimming Ariel doll from 1997. There was that doll, swimming Ariel. There was a children's Dr. Barbie, I think. I think that's what she was called. And then there was a Island Fun. No, it was Tropical Miko. Yeah. So it was four dolls in that lot. And the lot was pretty cheap, so I bought it for specifically for the swimming Ariel doll. I think that might be it. No, I can still see some hair floating around in there. She's not cooperating with me. Or at least the hair isn't cooperating with me. The hair that I'm trying to pull out is hiding from me. It doesn't want to leave. Now, if you have stubborn hair like this that doesn't want to come out of the head, all you gotta do is get some warm water. It doesn't have to be boiling or anything. Well, you don't want it to be boiling because you don't want to burn yourself, but you get some warm water, and the warm water will make the doll's head really squishy. You submerge the head in the water, and then you just start squeezing. The head will fill with water, and the pressure will push the extra bits of hair that don't want to come out. They'll push those out. So yeah, the water pressure will push it out. I've never heard of using a vacuum for getting doll hair out. Oh wow, there's a big chunk. A big chunk that I didn't even see up in there. Actually, I could use because I have another phone. I could use the flash from that one. Okay. So, that's an old phone right there. I've had this one since 2016 and literally seen better days. But it still works, so that's all that matters. And yeah, of course I have Teddy. One of my friends actually drew this picture. So, and I was like, I'm totally stealing that and using it for my background. That was a long time ago, and they were like, oh, cool. I'm cool with that. But they did an upgrade of his outfit, and he is just the cutest thing. Yeah, I'm obsessed. So there's my flash. Okay, now we can see a little bit better. Oh yeah, there's still some hair in there. One thing that I used to like to do with my doll heads, I would pop them off and then I would shine a flashlight up inside of them. And then, and then you would get something like this. It's interesting though because then you can literally see all the different details on the facial screening and stuff. This is also a good way to check to see if your doll's face paint is cracking. So let me see if I can focus it in on this. So if I squeeze her head, yeah, you can see on this eye that the paint is actually cracked. Yep, the paint is kind of cracking on her eyes. So that's one way you can actually check to see, because from the outside, just shining the light on her, you can't really tell. But yeah. But yeah. See, I still got a little bit more to get out. At least now I can see what I'm doing. At least now I know where I have to aim for. Oh, there's a big one that was hiding. Yeah, her hair is really tricky. So let me see. But yeah, you can also check with the flashlight. You can put it up to her head and shine the light inside to see if you got all the hair. I can still see some down in there. Some of the hair just refuses to come out. I think there's still one plug still stuck in her head. So I'm going to scrape a little bit more and try to scrape all the plugs out. Sometimes they don't want to come out. But yeah, if you can so this is what color of hair that she had. And you can see the color of her head. And it totally doesn't match. Like her scalp is painted much darker. So, and that's actually the hair that I'm going to be rooting in. So yeah, the hair I'm going to be rooting in actually matches her scalp perfectly. So, while the color I'm going to be rooting in isn't as exciting as the silvery type of hair, it will be better quality and it will match her scalp. And it will be rooted in much thicker. Yeah, so I'm going to go do that water method really fast. I guess I could show you guys. I'll have to go get... You can just stare at her body while I do this. I'm going to get some water. Okay, so you get your water. This is warm water. And so you're basically going to put the doll's head in. Let me see if I can get this really close up. And you just start squeezing her head until all the remaining hair comes out. And it will come out the bottom of the neck hole. And you can kind of see in there's some bits of hair floating around. So yeah, it got them out. So if there's hair that doesn't want to come out, that is how you get it out. What I used to do is I would just get done scraping all the hair to the inside of the head, and then I would just plunge the head in the water and then get all the hair out that way. But sometimes there's bigger plugs of hair that don't want to come out the neck hole. It also depends on how big or small your doll's neck hole is. So she is bald now. She bald-headed. And yes, yeah, I was gonna see about experimenting with hair colors. This is hair that I stole from a My Little Pony styling head thing. And then I just donated the My Little Pony head after I finished harvesting the hair. But yeah, see, I was like, maybe this color, but I was like, nah. I don't know. I just don't like that color on these. Maybe if she had brown eyes, I think this color would look much better if she had brown eyes. And also the hair isn't as long as I want it to be. But this is high quality nylon hair, so I had to have that. But yeah, she is done. Shake all the water out of her head. Yeah, I should just be able to shake her and the water should like come out of these holes. So yeah. Yep, here we go. She is now 100% bald. Yep. And in case y'all don't know, this is like the brand name for the Fashion Corner dolls. So she has a 1993 body mold, Lucky & Co. And so the one that if y'all don't know, the original one that I had when I was growing up, that I no longer have anymore, she was a doll that I found in an abandoned house. And she was literally just half of a doll, like her legs were missing. And she was one of the ones that had the reddish, like pinkish hair. She didn't have the silver hair or anything like that, or white hair. She had the kind of pinkish toned hair, and I distinctly remembered this like bunny symbol on the back before I swapped her over to a different body, because there was like literally just this abandoned house that I went to had like Barbie doll pieces everywhere, so I was able to piece together some of the dolls. And there was a Fashion Corner one that I was able to piece together, and I put her on a Kid Core body. But before I did that, I saw the information on her back, and I just remembered the little bunny. That was the main thing I remembered, and I remembered that it said Lucky. So that was what stuck with me, and actually in the bunny, it says Lucky. So, like, you see the bunny's face, like the curve for the bunny's face is like the L, and it says Lucky on the inside. So yeah, made in China. So yeah, but she does have different arms because her arms fell apart. So she has these rubbery ones now that I don't have to worry about that happening to. She had the same type of arms, like she had the same type of material that a Barbie has. So like this material that's flexible, but it springs back into place. And her fingers basically fell off. And her arms broke in half and stuff like that. Like, because when the fingers fell off, I was like, well, I have to arm transplant her now. And whenever I took the arms and I did this, they literally just cracked and broke in half. So I had to replace her arms. So that shouldn't happen to these ones because they are very flexible and rubbery. And they are the exact same skin tone that she is. So, but yeah, the arms came from a barter doll, a BARTER doll. It'll say like barter on the back of their head. And it's another clone doll that has a face mold very reminiscent of. It's another like clone superstar face sculpt. Like they made their own face mold, but you could tell that they were going for like that superstar type of face mold when they created it. Just like her, she has a very superstar-esque face mold look to her. This face mold was definitely meant to resemble the superstar face, or at least kind of copy it. Except I think this girl has better dimples than the superstar face. So yeah. But yeah, I love this head mold. I wish they would come back and give their dolls this head mold again. But they had, like I said, they had a good run. They had a good run, so there's plenty of them out there. Now there's two types of these though, if you're not aware. There's two types. There's ones that have like straight arms, like she originally had straight arms like this. And she's kind of like a pull apart, put together sort of doll. So she's one of those like cheaper dolls, so you can see her body is hollow and squishy. But then they have other ones that have harder bodies, and their arms are bent and they can move out and stuff like that. And the waist can like move all around. There's like a rubber band sort of thing inside the waist. And they do all have these, or most of them have the bendable knees. So yeah, they do have bendable knees. Most of them do. There's some of them that don't, but most of them do have the bendable knees. But I'm just like, this face, like, she deserves a full head of hair. She deserves better quality hair. And yeah. But yeah, for those of you who don't know, this is what a fashion corner doll looks like bald. Not all of them have this flat head though. Some of them do, but some of them don't. I guess it all depends on. This one I would say is maybe from the mid 90s, maybe. So yeah. Hey, brats. But yeah. You know, she would look good with red hair. She actually would. I think they actually had some that had red hair. It was either like brownish auburn or something, but I think they did make some of these that had, that were redheads. Yeah. I should do that. I was thinking of rerouting one of these, like giving her like cherry red hair to match the lipstick. I don't know. We'll have to see. I do want to get some more of these though. Yes, she's a total mood, isn't she? She's a bald mood right now. She bald headed. But we're going to fix that. And here is the hair that she is going to get. I still have to prep it. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to root it in this long. But if I did, you could see how long it would be. That'd be like Jewel Hair Mermaid length. So yeah. But like I said, I'm also going to root in a different hair color with this. It's going to be much lighter than this. So she will definitely have some like platinum hair going on. So be prepared for that. But I still have to prep this to get all the crimpies out of it. Y'all can see all the little crimpies. So yeah, I need to get this texture out because it makes it harder to root the hair in with this texture. But once I do, you can see how like shiny it is already. Yeah, so if you're buying the Expression braiding hair, you definitely want to go for the kind that has the tiny crimps, because this kind is better and it's much shinier. Very, very nice hair. So yeah, I will have a future video coming up about this, on how to boil wash the hair so that you can make it straight, so that it makes it easier to work with. So yeah, but anyhow. Oh yeah, and brats, be sure, because Selena keeps asking me about how to make that, she keeps asking me about how to make the Kanekalon braiding hair, the Expression braiding hair, how to make it go straight. So I will be making a video on that, a video tutorial on that. So if she wants to learn how to do it, then she's gotta tune in if she wants to catch me live, or she can watch the video back. But just let her be aware that I am going to be making that video on how to make the hair to where you can use it for rerooting. So yeah. Yep, that is her. All bald-headed. give you a 360. Let's look at a nice shot of her face, her beautiful facial screening, face paint. I love the shape of the lips too. But yeah, the flat head, not a fan of. But it'll work out. It'll work. Definitely will add more plugs. More holes in her head. So, and for those of you who weren't here, the hair, actually I will tie it off. So I still have, I might as well do it while it's still wet. So, here's all her hair. Obviously not going to be able to save her bangs because it's way too short. So I can't use that for rerooting. But I will save her original hair for the smaller dolls. But yeah, there's her kind of silver toned. Now that it's wet, you can actually see the blonde in there. But when it's dry, it looks very much silver. So yeah. But this little doll right here will be getting, yeah, you can see it's a perfect match for her hair. Because this was this came with Fashion Corner doll, and this is from one of the dolls, so she will benefit from this. But yeah, there's that one, and then these were the ones that were supposed to be boys, but I don't know, their clothes don't look like boy clothes or anything, and they do have the eyelashes, like the very feminine lashes, so I'm like, they're just girls. They're little girls with pixie cuts. So yeah, that's what I call them. So they're all three sisters. And they also, both of the ones with the pixie cut have the silvery hair too, so. But I don't think they're gonna need any hair. The rooting on them is decent. It's okay. Not the greatest, but it's not the worst. So. This one's a little bit better, though. This one's rooted a little bit better. Yeah, this one's rooted a lot better, actually. So, yeah. They all have, like, these, like, neon orangey lips, which kind of looks interesting. There we go. Now you can see it. And they do have, let me see. They have black eyes. I thought they had like gray eyes at first, but it's because that little white highlight in the bottom, I thought it was like mixing with their eye color, and I thought they had like gray eyes. But no, it's just black with different highlights in there. So yeah. And I keep them with all my Kellys, all my Kelly dolls. So yeah. It's a collection, my collection of Kelly dolls. I have quite a few of them. I don't think my Chelsea dolls are in here, but there's a baby Chrissy in there. What else is in here? There's some sort of puppy. Oh, there's a Bratz Babies little bottoms right there, like a little skirt. So yeah, that goes to a Bratz Baby that I have. So yeah. Yeah, there's a little dog in there that has a hole in the mouth, I'm guessing, for a bottle. I don't know. I think that little dog was in with a bunch of Barbie stuff that my friend Katie gave to me a long time ago. Which my friend Katie, a long time ago, she gave me all her Barbies, all her Bratz dolls that I still have, and she gave me a lot of other miscellaneous stuff that she didn't. She was going through that I'm too old for dolls phase. And I'm sure she probably regrets getting rid of all her dolls, but I still have them. So, but I don't know where she is anymore. I don't know whatever happened to her. She moved away and then I never heard from her again. So, but anyway, that is enough of my rambling. This video is almost an hour long, so I don't want to bore y'all anymore with all my ramblings and stuff. But yeah, hopefully the next video I come out with will, I'm not sure if it's going to be pre-recorded or what, but, or if I'll go live. I'm going to try to go live, but I might pre-record it to make it a little more professional, I guess. So yeah. Oh wait. Oh yeah, you do boil wash the braiding hair, and it makes it go completely straight. You do want to make sure that you have it brushed out. I usually use this pet brush that has these metal bristles. So I brush it out, I wet it down, and then I put loads of conditioner in it. Then I dunk it in several times to make it go straight. And the water, you kind of have to be careful because the water is going to be really hot. So, but if you get the water hot enough, it will make it go straight, and then you can use it. I've heard of people flat ironing it. That just takes too long for me. I'm not going to sit there and take individual sections of all this and flat iron it because that's just going to take way too long. I'm very impatient when it comes to that sort of thing, so. But yeah, anyway, that is my video. Thank you guys for so much for tuning in and watching and subscribing and supporting me. It really means a lot. And yeah, hopefully my next video will be of something kind of interesting. And yeah, more videos to come. Remember to stay true to you, and good night.